So, the second vid of this evening, although technically it's the very early hours of Saturday morning. It was a long day. Anyway, so SNP vow cost of living action with price cap of supermarket essentials. Now think about this. Under fair use, stopping occasionally for comment. And yet again, the purpley tie, although people will be saying, look, it's, not that purple.
In place, using our public health powers, some controls...
Our public health powers.
We'll put in place, using our public health powers, some controls over a limited range of prices that will enable people to get a nutritious shopping basket for an affordable price from the supermarkets. And we'll use our public health powers to protect people in these difficult times. People are struggling.
Honestly. We're all awash with oil, gas, and coal. These fuckers have shut down the one and only refinery in Scotland. And what they're apparently going to do, if you vote for these again, is, in amongst many other things, they're going to dictate to supermarkets what they can sell a product at. And remember, it's always historically only a few, and then it just gets expanded. Remember, the same thing with this mansion tax. Oh, that'll be another video. But, I mean, which part of communism has never worked historically, ever, to be missed?
Now, how quickly could you deliver it? We obviously would have to legislate for that, so it's not something that can be done overnight, but we'll do it as quickly as we can.
I mean, whether it's an independent business or a corporation, and I'm not that huge a fan of corporations, but, some, yeah, many others not so much, but for a set of puppets, well-dressed puppets, dictating through powers, because you've all been told over the last few decades it's about will and witchcraft. I mean, honestly, spell casting, that's all they're doing on the people every day. What makes them have the power to change our reality and always constantly blaming, one particular sector or, is it the supermarkets that have literally brought down the country? Don't get me wrong. In many ways, I would argue, yes. Because what we used to have up until about late 70s was predominantly independent businesses that were successful over many, many decades. And the genuine diversity of independent businesses, fresh, whatever, veggies, meats, fish. Most fishmongers had water coming down the very fronts of their shop window, emphasizing the freshness of the product that they got that morning. Could you see any of that for supermarkets? But no, the inference here is supermarkets are part of the solution, which comes back down to, ultimately, communism.
By consulting with
by the time you legislate the current cost of living crisis, certainly caused by the war in the Middle East, might be over.
See, the thing is, what most people don't realise is while they keep giving incentives to corporations, they're giving next to nixie, in fact, penalising independent businesses. The thing is, remember, when they were destroying the high streets with we need to have traffic wardens everywhere and double yellow lines everywhere so nobody could just stop for a couple of minutes, go buy whatever from an independent shop and fuck off, which was successful for so many bloody decades. Yeah? I mean, honestly, you look historically, even at Leith Walk, they used to have cars right up the middle of Leith Walk, and people were civilized enough with each other to make that work. Yeah? Population in Scotland, up until only recently, has always been about 5 mil. So nothing changed until these tossers and people like them started narrowing roads and shutting roads off and then putting boxes or whatever in roads and all the rest of it to emphasise there's too many cars on the road. There is a complexity to this that's beyond belief.
Well, I think we're facing an inflationary problem for some time to come. And
down to these bastards. Seriously, why would you shut down the only oil refinery in Scotland in a land rich in oil, gas and coal? And at one stage, nuclear power. Remember that?
Increased costs for individuals.
Would it cost the Scottish Government funds?
Oh, this is hilarious. You know, he even just doesn't even lie about it. No, it's not going to cost us anything. But we're talking about powers. And we've got a population that's for several decades been programmed about powers and the subliminals. Just the power of the mind to change reality and do things which is ultimately communistic and, well, anti-Western, really, when you think about it.
It wouldn't. It's something that would obviously...
Would you be expecting the supermarkets to absorb this?
Yes, I would be.
I would accept it. Look, when the fuck is any organisation, independent or corporate, going to absorb jack shit? Who's paying for it? You, pal. That's it.
Supermarkets are performing well financially.
But remember, they got allowed the big car parks and all the rest of it. And mind you, well, initially, most people took great advantage of that for good reason. All of a sudden, well, in the last few years especially, CCTV and, oh, sorry, it can only be in the car park for X amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Look, none of this used to be a thing. It used to be down to independent shops and common sense and all the rest of it, and, you know, occasional supermarkets, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't get the priority. The same with all these various out of towns and villages, you know, whatever they are, you know, big box areas of various shops in one place, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Seriously, while destroying towns, villages and cities of the independent businesses. And then, of course, under Agenda 21, turn them into rental accommodation. There is no end to where these bastards have been taking us over the last, well, at the very least, 40 years.
And I want to make sure we put in place some protection at the margins for people who are really struggling. And people
So remember, let's emphasise this is costing the government nothing, and somehow, just because there are various puppets up there, you know, in whatever was perceived as government, they can dictate to whether independent or corporations what the price is going to be on things and sell it. And look, I'll repeat, do you think supermarkets are going to wear taking that on the chin themselves? Oh, they'll go along with it, don't get me wrong, because they're a part of Agenda 21. Bigger picture, same funny handshaking, fucking knuckle pressing, Masonic tossback cultists in supermarkets as it is in the housing and whatever else. Common denominator is Freemasonry, and it is about occultism.
Aren't known for playing along with these things.
obviously
They might resist.
Well, if we...
I mean, now, you know, me still keep seeing this colour purple every fucking where, honestly, and I still think this somehow ties into the fucking church. I really do.
Protection at the margin
Or certain
for people
churches.
who are really struggling. And people...
The supermarkets aren't known for playing along with these things.
Obviously,
They might resist.
Well, if we put it into legislation and we're successful about that, that can deliver the type of practical support. It's about...
Because remember, they've been telling all the young team for the last 30 plus years anyway that, you know, capitalism is just horrible. And what we need to do is socialism and communitarianism and collective this and that and Gaia Mother Earth and all the rest of it. I keep saying this. Read things like Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand. Seriously.
It's an example of how I'm using all of the powers available to me.
Because did you miss the term? Because remember, the subliminal is the will, the power. Doesn't mean if it's right. It's just we're look, for the lazy, the weak of mind, the blah, 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 the, you know, the lack of, the unmotivated. Oh, yeah, that makes some sense. Honestly, yeah, we'll vote for these fuckers.
Over this because the UK government could stop it because of the Internal Market Act.
Well,
You've warned of that in your own manifesto.
Well, I suggest you go and raise that with the United Kingdom government, because that would be quite a spectacle of a Labour government stopping...
Listen, none of this would be neat. None of this bollocks. Embrace oil, gas, coal, shale, etc., etc. Stop with this windmill nonsense, all the rest of it. And let me repeat again. We had nuclear power in the bag decades ago. Decades. First it's the supermarkets, and at what stage it's your independent businesses. You know, the collective good. Seriously? Get a grip. This is not good.